Everybody, welcome to the Kr8tom Gals. I want to share something important with you all before we dive into our show. As many of you know, we've lost our main YouTube channel. It sucks. But I'm glad y'all found us on our backup, which is Kr8tom Real Talk, and this is going to be our channel moving forward. So I've spent years on this, working on all the stuff I do, years of the YouTube channel, all the other social media, the podcast, this Kr8tom Gals. It's a lot of work, but I'm all about educating people, getting the advocacy information out. But all this stuff, including all the conversations on our YouTube channel, everything disappeared overnight. And it's been a gut punch. I mean, it's not fun having this happen, but it's not going to stop my mission. And I know it's not going to for you all as well. We're on a mission to help people hear our stories and know about the power of whole leaf natural kratom. I've spent a lot of my personal time on this. I mean, I'm not like a paid advocate or paid sponsors. I do work with a couple of different brands with advocacy and education. It has nothing to do with anything with promoting brands. But you know, we have to be so careful how we talk about a plant on social media. And if it's not YouTube, then I'm getting in trouble with TikTok and Facebook, and y'all know how it is. But I need everybody's help. I mean, I'm not one to ask for help, but if this community, if the Kr8tom Stories podcast, if the Kr8tom Gals has ever helped you, educated you, made you feel less alone, I'm asking for help and support as I rebuild it. So what I've done, kind of like a Patreon on our school community at Kr8tom Real Talk, I was able to set up support tiers. So we still have our school community. None of that changes. But I'm going to show you in just a moment. But you can actually, for those that want to help support all the efforts, very much like a Patreon or some kind of crowdfunding platform, you can help with keeping all this work going. There's no pressure at all. Just know that any support you do in any form means more than you'll ever know, even if it's just sharing our YouTube and the podcast and all the stuff out with people you know in the Kr8tom community. But it's okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but it's time for the Kr8tom Gals. This is your weekly dose of real talk, real stories, and relentless advocacy. Every week we come together here for over 2 years now to dive into the latest Kr8tom headlines, because there's always so many of them, and they're not always good. We like to come here and react to videos and call out all the misinformation, because there's so much of it. We do this with facts. We got the receipts, and we do it with a lot of passion. And it's not just a show. This is a movement to protect the plant we love, which is natural Kr8tom. I'm Madeline Sklar, so I'm the host of this live stream series, the Kr8tom Stories podcast, and the Kr8tom Real Talk community over on the school platform. I've been consuming Kr8tom daily for well over 6.5. It'll be 7 years soon, and it's just amazing for my chronic pain issues. And I can't even imagine not being able to have safe and legal access to it. So that's one of the reasons why I talk about it so much. I want other people to know about it, but also just to help people be informed and know what's going on in the community, because you know, knowledge is power. Now, be sure to catch all of our episodes of the Kr8tom Stories podcast on our website. We won't ever lose access to it over there. Go to Kr8tomstoriespodcast.com. The only place we've lost all the episodes is at YouTube, but they're everywhere else. It started off as an audio podcast, so all the episodes are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora, like all the different podcast players, and it's available on my website at Kr8tomstoriespodcast.com. Now, if you're on my website or in the school community and you see that a video no longer exists, it's because it was connected to the old YouTube. It's going to take me a long time. This is why I could use some support through our new school tiers. It's going to take me a long time to get all 87 episodes uploaded to our YouTube channel and find all the videos that are missing over in our school community. I already have people in our school community that are new to Kr8tom and utilizing our classroom section, which is all free, by the way. And there's some of these videos are gone because it was tied to the YouTube channel. So it's going to take me a long time to piecemeal all of that back together And so I've been working on it a bit, but yeah, it's going to take a while. So anyway, bear with me. If you come across something where it's like the video's missing and you know this was something important, like there was an important 7-OH video that a lot of the Kratom advocates were using. I'll show you that in just a little bit. John Schinholzer had reached out and he's like, what happened to that video? Because I was sharing this with all my advocacy efforts. And it was connected to my old YouTube. So I re-uploaded it last night, got it all set. I'll show you which one I'm talking about because it's a great piece of content to share when you're advocating for there's leaf powder versus 7-OH and people get confused. This is a great video talking about the difference between the two. So I'll show you that in a minute, but it is now up on my current YouTube. But just a reminder, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not giving out medical advice here. We don't do that. We're here to share our personal experience and our stories about Kratom and advocate for responsible use. Let me bring up the gals that are here with us today. Hello, gals. It's the three of us right now.
Yep.
Three of us gals. We do have a special guest coming a little later, Sarah Pita. But great to see you, Becca and Venus. So, man, what a week it's been. Monday rolls around and YouTube channel is gone. And I think I had just reached 1,600 subscribers. And while it was not a huge amount, it grew substantially this year because I started putting more effort into it. But I'll tell you what, there was most upsetting than that is the fact that we had so many views on the channel, and that's what's more important. And let me show you all the these are the milestone we had just hit days before this happened. I had just grown the channel to 175,000 views.
Wow.
December 3rd.
That's a lot.
It was all because, even though the account's been around for a couple of years, it was all because at the first of the year, back in January, I said to myself, I'm going to put a lot more effort into this. And we already had the Kr8tom Gals on there every week. And the podcast, it was an audio podcast, but now it's a video podcast. But I wasn't putting a whole lot else, some stuff, but not a lot. And I decided, let me also put in all the short form video. I've been doing it so successfully on TikTok and it's so educational. Let me just start putting that on the YouTube channel. And it just exploded the channel. And it helped tremendously. And a lot of people didn't realize we had the podcast or the live stream. So there was a lot of just cross connection because of that. And I was blown away the milestone because earlier this year, I got the notice that it was at 100,000 views. I'm like, holy cow, that's wild. I wasn't expecting that because you don't think that's going to happen when you don't have, you think you need, 10,000 subscribers to more, right? But it really shows you that people don't always subscribe. Actually, most people don't subscribe. I mean, I can go look at the analytics. We do get the people that watch our videos are a little bit more than half of this. What's real common with a lot of popular YouTubers, and many of them will talk about it on their YouTube channels. Most times the number of subscriber percentage of the people that view your videos is usually really low. It could be 25, 30%. It could be less. For this channel, it's been always more than 50%, and at times even more than that, which is actually pretty big. But I feel like a lot of people are finding us from a short video or the Kr8tom Gals, and they're like, oh, there's a podcast here. There's all this other stuff. So it's been really cool to just see all the people that have been finding us. And look, thank y'all everyone for finding us over here on the backup channel. This is our regular channel now, but I see y'all are all in here, and we appreciate y'all finding us over here. Just help spread the word and let people know that this is where we're at. And but yeah, I know a lot of people are struggling with losing their access. So I know, Becca, you had lost your Facebook.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. It feels like we're losing, our freedom of speech on the internet that was supposed to be like the, the last frontier or whatever of freedom and whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it just feels like it's slowly being um taken over, and it's really difficult.
It really is. It really is. But, we're not gonna let this stop us from advocating,
Nope.
and the thing is, I know many times people like to assume that when things like this happen, it's automatically because of the haters, and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Haters have to have a very coordinated effort to even get a social media
Yes.
platform to, take an interest. You can't just have some random blocks and they're all, oh, that's going to bring them down. It doesn't work like that. But, I am one to try to kind of push the boundaries a bit um, and, but I'm not going to be silenced. That's not going to work.
That's not fair.
It's not. And while I spend such a great deal of time on this, it is incredibly frustrating. I will not lie. It's and I can understand why so many times people that build up channels that really grow stop advocating. There was Joey Talks. I mean, I know Joey ended up no longer using Kratom, but he was a Kratom
Right.
consumer for a long time. He was one of the best educators. The two best educators I came across over the years was Joey from Joey Talks and Emily from Botanical Queens.
Yep.
They were so great with the knowledge. I learned so much from their YouTube channels, and not being brand new. I mean, I was years into my Kratom journey and I would learn so much from them. And I really liked what Joey did. I talked to him a few times, really liked the content. I know he did an about face and he doesn't use Kratom anymore, but also wasn't using Kratom for pain or like chronic issues. But his channel had over 30,000 subscribers. It was big. He grew that thing and it was amazing. And then it was gone. And I know that was so deflating. So I'm not surprised when somebody doesn't come back from that. That's hard,
Yeah.
especially when you're not being paid to do it. It's just something you feel so strongly about. So I totally understand. Vina, I'm glad you found us here. And yeah, because my account's gone, any history you had from a tie to my account's going to be gone. But yeah, y'all can always look, couple of things. Y'all can always go to my website, KratomStoriesPodcast.com. That will never go away. So have it bookmarked or just know KratomStoriesPodcast.com. All the podcasts are there. The videos are not there. And I know if you go to the website and you go on somebody's episode, there's the big black box because of it. It's going to take me forever to get the videos up because they don't let you bulk upload. You have to do them one at a time. So I got to do every single one at a time. It's not just uploading the video, it's putting all the data back in. And then I can connect it back to my website for each episode page. So it's going to take a long time. But I'll get there. It's going to be a huge undertaking. I mean, this is my passion project. That's why if anybody wants to help support what I set up on school, very much like a Patreon where it's now set up so that, KratomRealTalk.com on the school platform, still free. There's none of that changes, but you can upgrade just like a Patreon. And so I set up two different ones for people that want to help support all the efforts. And I set up a $10 a month and $25 a month. Now, there's not going to be like a whole bunch of down the road, maybe based on what people would like, paying a little more like a Patreon. But for now, it's more of supporting the efforts so we can get everything back, the website connected back to the podcast with all the episodes and just getting everything in order is going to take a while. And what's cool about the way this works in school is for somebody that just wants to do a one-time as a donation to support the community, you can click up to the premium for $10 a month, and then after a month, just go back to the free. Like you can, if you wanted to do it that way, where it's just a one-time. If you want to do it for a few months, that's fine. Then you can go back. If you can switch between the tiers, you can say, well, I can't do much right now, but I'd be happy to do $10 a month for a while. And then down the road, you're like, you know what? I could chip in a little more. But here's the thing too, I also have set up. when you click on join, you do have an option. Hold on, let me check something real quick. I want to make sure it doesn't show my personal information because I think it shows some credit card information. All right, I can show it. So what you can do is like say the $10 a month, but if you want to actually do like a one time, I do have it set up as an annual. And so like if you did the annual, it'd be $100, which would just do a one time for a year. And then you can just bump down whenever. So that way it's just more like you want to give more in a one time period. But I have that set up on both here. So it's a monthly or annual.
That's nice, especially since they took your monetization off the YouTube channel too.
Here's the thing about YouTube monetization. I knew I was never going to be able to have it or even keep it if I did get it. YouTube monetization, the big YouTubers, they make a ton of money because the more views you get, that's why clicks and views. That's why we see so much crazy stuff about Kr8tom, because people are smart. They know if they can go viral and they're monetize, their accounts monetize, and this is on TikTok too, then you can make a lot of money. Somebody that has 1 million views on something, they can make some real money from that. Now, here's the thing. I already knew that, like, the odds of getting monetized, but even if they did accept me, they're not going to let me be monetized. Not with Kr8tom. They're not going to do that. So the thing was, they did monetize me briefly, but I'm sure it was just a bot thing that did, because it was all because I reached a certain milestone. You have to have so many subscribers and so many views in a period of time. I think it was in a 1 year time. And I reached that milestone, much earlier this year, which is pretty incredible that I reached the milestone that qualified me. So they said that my account qualified to be a monetized account. Well, I'm like, that's cool, but I'm like, they're not going to let it stay that way. I'm sure it's a glitch that they allowed it. The cool thing was that briefly it had it so that here on YouTube, when y'all are in the live chat, it had that little icon with the little dollar sign, so that if you want to do a one-time contribution, you could do it right in the chat, which was super cool. And when it was activated, some of y'all did that, which was amazing. Just know they never gave me the money, and I knew they weren't going to. I mean, I had a feeling they weren't going to. And I remember Dr. Heidi, I remember she did a contribution, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was just thinking, I hope YouTube will let me have it, because I knew it would be short-lived. And sure enough, not too long after that, they deactivated it. And I don't know whatever happened with the people that sent money. I would imagine they refunded everybody back. It wasn't a ton of money.
That's what I think.
It wasn't going to be a big money maker. You're not going to make a ton of money with that when you just have, at the time, it was, I think, maybe 500 or 700 subscribers. But I mean, that's how things work. I just was surprised they did accept it briefly, but then I knew they would take it away. So I wasn't looking at that as a way to bring any money in. But I did think about starting a Patreon, but I love school, and I've been waiting for school to have the different tier feature, the subscription tiers. And they actually just started it maybe a month and a half ago. So I'm super excited to have this available. They don't make it easy to find this. So if you're already in our school, this isn't easy to find. So what you want to do is, when you're on the site, school.com/Kr8tom Real Talk, do a /plans. But I'll put a post in school and make it. Or if anybody can't ever find it, just let me know, and I'll give you the link. But I don't see it linked anywhere on the site. They don't make it easy for people to find. But this is like the only thing I could think of, like what would be an easy way for people that want to support. And if you want to do it a different way, I do have on the website, let me show you all this real quick, because I also have a spot on the website at kratomstoriespodcast.com where you can also donate. So when you're on the website, there's a link that says donate. So when you click on donate, it says support our efforts. So I do have these options: buy me a coffee, PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. So anytime you want to support, that's another way too. And that's great for, if you want to do something as a one-time and you already have a PayPal or whatever. With school, I'm pretty sure with school it's just credit card. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how it is. So anyway, just want to offer these options. Look, I love our community. I'm not here to solicit for donations. It'd be nice, but I'll get everything in order. It's just going to take a while, but I know I will get there. It was just a big setback, but I need to be better about asking for help. So of course, any help would be appreciated. So if anybody wants to help support, thank you. It's appreciated. It's very hard for me to do that. So, all right, let's get to some videos. Now, the podcast, I was so excited. I know last week I was telling you all about how I was going to have our next episode be that actor with his Kr8tom beer. I was so excited. But, losing the YouTube was such a setback because also it was so established, our YouTube, that it was cool. The podcast would come out and a lot of people watched it and a lot of people commented. It was great. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put up this amazing episode that I was still trying to set up the YouTube. Like the YouTube wasn't ready yet. But it's like, who's going to see it? Like, I mean, people will, but not. That's the part that's hard because it's like,
Right.
no, it's not going to be at the level. It's going to take a long time to get back to that. That's why it's so important for everybody to help spread the word. We need to get people over to this YouTube channel because there's not anybody else out there that is putting out the type of content I am. You don't have somebody doing a podcast that's just stories of real people talking about Kr8tom. You don't have a live stream like ours where we're stomping out all this crazy media misinformation. Yes, there's an advocacy webinar. It's different from what we do, as it should be. And then I have just a lot of educational videos and just a lot of well-rounded content for everyone, whether you're new, whether you're a seasoned Kr8tom consumer, or you're a big advocate. There's so much information. Hey, Dr. Heidi, good to see you. So, so I'm going to play for y'all. What I did for this week's episode instead is I just decided just to make it more of an announcement video and what was going on, because I know not everybody knew what had happened. So let me play this for y'all real quick. Hey everyone, it's Madeline. I just want to jump on and share a quick update with you. First, I want to thank you for listening to the Kr8tom Stories podcast and for being part of this awesome community. Whether you've been here from the beginning or you found the show more recently, I truly appreciate you taking the time to listen and support what we're doing. So I do have some news to share. Unfortunately, we lost our Kr8tom Stories podcast YouTube channel this week. It's been a tough hit, because as many of you know, I've spent the last several years building that channel up. It became a space not just for this podcast, but also for the Kr8tom Gals weekly live stream and other educational resources and information for our community. I wanted to make sure you heard about this from me rather than just wondering, where did everything go? Where did the YouTube channel go? But the good news is we do have a backup channel on YouTube. It's called Kr8tom Real Talk. I really appreciate it if you could head over there and subscribe. I'm working to get all 87 episodes of this podcast added over there. And it's going to take a little while. So this is a perfect moment for us to just take a bit of a breather over the holidays so I can regroup. So that's the plan. We'll be taking a holiday break right now. There won't be any new episodes until January. And I hope you all have a wonderful and restful holiday season. We'll come back fresh and ready to go in the new year. And before I wrap up, I just want to share a few thoughts on the bigger picture of all this. For many of us in the Kr8tom community, dealing with social media censorship is such a real challenge. We're just trying to share honest, helpful information. And sometimes that means we hit these roadblocks. I want to thank you all for your support and just remind you that we're going to keep pushing forward and we're going to find ways to get the word out no matter what. Please feel free to share this with others in the Kr8tom community so they know where to find us. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Please do subscribe to the new channel. Have a wonderful holiday, and I'll talk to you in the new year. I love how that ends. I love that little sound it makes. So yeah, I just decided, let me just not rush to get episodes out, give myself a little holiday break. We'll still do the Kr8tom Gals. But my thinking was, well, wait a minute. Next week on the Thursday when we do the premiere is Christmas, and the following Thursday is New Year's Day. And it's like, well, we wouldn't be doing it on those days anyway. So it's like, I'd rather just hold off, regroup. We'll still have the Kr8tom Gals, but yeah. So the new episodes will come out in January. So
I think that's a great idea. I think last year there was a power outage or something. I can't remember. But like it got real cold, and I'm trying to remember. Never mind. But we waited till after the holidays to come back with the podcast too. So I just think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a holiday break.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
needs some time off
Yep.
sometimes.
Exactly. So yeah, and so when you're on our YouTube channel, Kr8tom Real Talk, like I said, it's going to take a long time to rebuild. But one of the videos that needed to get back up is this one. So, and Heidi, this one's back. This was the one with Dr. The FDA. This one, let me show y'all.
We owe it to the American people.
It's the short, just under a minute, where it's like the kind of like a. Let me just play for y'all, because this is a good one when you're talking to people and they're, especially media and legislators, they don't understand the difference between natural kratom and 7-OH. And I know a lot of the advocates have used this, John Shinholzer, I know Heidi and Laura. So yeah, it was gone because it was on my YouTube channel, and you know, John Shinholzer was like, where's that video? So I got it back up last night.
To act decisively, and that's what we're doing today, initiating a process to schedule 7-OH as an illicit substance.
We're not targeting the kratom leaf or ground up kratom. We are targeting the concentrated synthetic byproduct that is an opioid. Well, first of all, kratom is different from 7-OH.
Kratom is not our focus. The kratom leaf has been around for centuries.
Some physicians have some health concerns with kratom. Some people describe those as minimal health concerns. Some say there's health benefits. We're not talking about kratom. We're not targeting kratom.
What is it that you're cracking down on? You just announced this yesterday. You're going after a synthetic version of it?
We don't want to get caught flat-footed again. There's a product that's a synthetic product in the vape stores that are popping up on every corner in America. And we want to educate people about that product. It's called 7-OH. It has many other names. When you go really broad and say, look, everything is your brain on drugs, you're not really appropriately risk stratifying to parents who should know. It's important to distinguish the lexicon here. So the kratom plant, which has been used in teas and other substances for centuries, may have some minimal health concerns, but it's not our focus. It's a synthetic concentrated byproduct that is stronger than oxycodone. That's where we're going to focus, and that's where I think we can distinguish where the real public health harm is. This 7-OH product can be deadly.
And there's a QR. So yeah, I was able to get that up last night because I know that's a really important piece of content. Becca, Heidi says they can't hear you well. I guess your volume is low.
Oh, sorry.
You're on a wireless mic, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Is that better?
See, well, the thing is, when we're on StreamYard here, it's not something I can notice until I go to YouTube later. So yeah, Heidi, let us know if that's better. But yeah, anytime
Please.
if the volume's ever too low on any of us, let us know, because when we're in StreamYard, there's no way for us to know. So
yeah, definitely.
It's going out to YouTube. We're not in YouTube. We're in StreamYard. So, but yeah. So I want to make a comment here. Couple of things. Number one, I want to thank the GKC for making that video. That's where it came from. And they made it after the whole FDA thing. And it was a great piece of content for advocating, you know. And when they sent it to me, they asked if I would post it on my social. I said, yes, this is a great piece of content. That's very helpful to people that you know, with the education. And I sent it to Laura Romney first, and I made sure she knew. Like, I just said, look, just so you know, this GKC is the one that put this together. I'm glad that they're both getting along now, GKC and AKA, finally, as they should, because them not getting along does not help any of us consumers and advocates. And so it's always nice hearing that they publicly acknowledge from time to time that they're getting along now. But I'm not going to not share information from an advocacy group because others are at odds with them. But I did make Laura aware that, don't you know where I got this piece of content? You're happy to use it. They want this to get out far and wide. So, yeah. And another thing on that note, when I lost my YouTube channel on Monday, I reached out to the AKA and the GKC to see if there's anything they can do to help, because we need to be able to talk about this plant without censorship. And it's gotten so out of control on every social media platform. And the only ones that got back to me offering to help was GKC. Just want to make y'all aware. I wasn't surprised. And I know they're all busy, but we can't do all this stuff alone. We need help. And I can't advocate if I'm being suppressed.
Right.
And
I
don't know if
appreciate
they
them
can
getting
do
back
anything.
to you.
Well, I don't know if they can do much, but at least acknowledge and try to help and offer some ideas and solutions.
Right.
So I really appreciated that they took the time to respond and offer up some thoughts. So that was really important to me. Because, I don't have to be doing this. I could be focusing on my regular business. A lot more things. I could be taking the Saturday off and shopping and doing stuff. I love doing this. I'm very passionate about doing this. I always have some passion project I do, usually more than regular work stuff, because it's what I love and I do. I mean, go over to my Facebook. I did a post late last night because I love seeing the memories with all my old stuff. And this memory came up from back when I had my side passion project helping independent musicians, female musicians, starting in the mid-90s. I did it for 20 years. I didn't get paid to do that. I did it because I loved doing what I was doing to help people. And this memory came up, so I shared it, and then it reminded me of a great story to tell that had to do with that from back in the earlier days. And it's like, I did this because I loved it. That's my pattern. That's what I always do. I always have just something I do in addition that I basically do full time because I just love doing it. So I'm just saying, I don't have to be doing all this. It would be nice if we could get more help and support from those who can help and support. So,
Right.
Not trying to go off on a big rant or anything, but anyway, that video is back on my YouTube channel, and I know that's a helpful piece of content for a lot of people in our community. Another helpful piece of content I put back up last night was a great video that Christopher Dini and I did earlier this year, talking about chronic pain, like specifically for people, Kr8tom for people who suffer from chronic pain. Let me just play a little bit of it. Just simply use it as a tea. Hold on, let me start at the beginning. Hold, please. This is a live stream, so let's see if I can get it right at the beginning. Been taking Kr8tom every single. Bear with me. I'm trying to get it after the little intro. Been taking Kr8tom every single day for my chronic pain after losing access to pain management in 2019 through no fault of my own. I'm also the host of the Kr8tom Stories podcast, the founder of the Kr8tom Real Talk community, and the creator of the Kr8tom Gals, a live stream series that I host each week. And I'm here today with Christopher Dini from Christopher's Organic Botanicals, and we're going to talk about Kr8tom and how we both use it for chronic pain. So, Christopher, I'm so glad you're joining me. So, just FYI, that's back up. Like I said, it's going to take me a long time to try to get the more important stuff that I think should get up quickly. I'm going to get all the podcast episodes. I'm not going to put all the old live streams back because most of what we're doing is more timely, it's more newsworthy, and there's just no need. Now, we'll put Dr. McCurdy's interview back in from the Kr8tom Gals because that was epic. And
Yes, it was.
that needs to be back in. So that is on my list. So if there's any content anybody remembers that was on the YouTube separate from the podcast, let me know. But I have to go dig everything up and go find it And again, as I said, YouTube only lets you put it up one at a time. You have to put all the data into it as well, one at a time. So it's a process. It's a process, but we'll get ourselves there. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention real quick is I'm going to be moving the newsletter, the Kr8tom Stories podcast newsletter that's been on MailChimp. I'm going to move it over to Substack, and I've been working on it. I haven't been using it yet. I've been using MailChimp, but I do have this set up. So for those that are not familiar, Substack, it is a really interesting platform. It was always known as an email newsletter platform, very much like MailChimp, and it's been around forever. But it really was geared more for authors and journalists, and it's really exploded more in the last few years, especially this year. And one of the things I'm finding with Substack is they don't seem to be doing a whole lot of censorship. So it seems like it's not a crazy free-for-all, but it's growing and a lot of people use it now. And what I love about the platform, and we talk about this a lot in my regular business live stream where we focus on AI and social media stuff, is that Substack has become more like part newsletter, part social media feed. And so what's really cool is you don't have to have a newsletter, but that's one of the options you can do. And the whole thing is free. It doesn't cost any money to use. But you can have a newsletter if you want, but you can also use it like a social media feed. And I don't see much in there with Kr8tom, but I've been playing around with it, and it's like, who has time to go spend on a whole nother platform? But I think this is one worthwhile for everybody to look into in the new year. So I'll be talking more about that soon. But if anybody wants to at least go and subscribe to the newsletter, it's going to be Kr8tom Real Talk Weekly. And so you can come over here and subscribe, and let me see what happens if I go here. I don't know if I don't really have it all set yet, but I've been doing some posts that are kind of like the social media feed. So yeah, so there's some stuff in here. So check it out. It's substack.com/Kr8tom Real Talk. But I'll talk about it more soon as I get it going. Just want to let y'all all to be aware that another place to go. I'm just always in search of places where we can talk about Kr8tom without
we need as many as we can get
without getting in trouble. Tired of always getting in trouble. I mean, it's like a troublemaker. I don't think I am, but I guess a rebel would be a good way to describe me. I mean, I did get my first tattoo when I was 17. It's like back then. It's like back in the 80s. It's like, are you 18? Yes. Okay. They didn't check driver's licenses back then. They're so strict now with all that, but not in the 80s. It wasn't like that. All right. I'm going to play. Let's get to some videos. And our special guest, Sarah Pita, should be here soon. I'm going to play a couple of short clips. There's a podcast episode I got to be the guest on. That doesn't happen very often. I'm so excited. So there's y'all may remember recently I had an awesome guest on Kr8tom Stories podcast, Diana Crash, and she has her own podcast and blog. It's called Getting Personal with Plant Medicine. And so she's been doing an audio podcast for quite a while, and she just released my episode. We recorded a while back, and I didn't know she was going to do it as a video too. Like, we recorded on video, but I didn't know she would release it on YouTube. But hopefully I'm inspiring others to like start putting YouTube versions out. So I'll play a little bit of it. It's so good. And I definitely encourage everybody to go watch it, or at least listen on the podcast apps. I'll have all of the stuff we're looking at today linked into the YouTube description. So I know some people are watching on X. Shout out to Christopher for hosting us on his X account. But we also have a lot of y'all here on YouTube. And so later I'll go back into our YouTube in the description. I'll put up all the links. So let me play a few clips. I just love Diana. She's a lot of fun. That's how it started. It started with us laughing.
Welcome to Getting Personal with Plant Medicine.
I'm thinking she was using StreamYard, I think, and so it was new for her. So we're sitting there laughing. She hits record. So I just thought that was funny.
I'm your host, Diana, and today I am joined by Madeline Sklar, the host of Kr8tom Stories podcast. How are you doing today, Madeline?
I'm great, Diana. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's not too often that I'm the one that gets invited onto a podcast, so I'm super excited about this. Another way around.
Well, you should
I'm
be,
doing
because
interviewing.
Yeah. and you're great at that, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I also want to say I really do love your name, by the way. It's Madeline.
Thank
It's a
you.
pretty name.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kratom is a huge part of your life, right? It's pretty much everything that you have going on right now. Well, other than the non-Kratom stuff, right? But
Right.
I'm confusing listeners. She has a lot. She has a podcast, a talk, right? Is the Kr8tom Gals a podcast, or is that
It's a live stream. That one.
live
Yeah.
stream? Basically, you're one of the most tireless advocates I've ever met in any plant medicine industry, and I'm just so inspired by you. So let's talk about how you even learned about Kratom. Like, how did Kratom enter your life?
Great question. Well, first of all, I'm able to do all this because of Kratom. You know, Kratom just makes me feel better, so I can do all this stuff.
I think you're muted.
I was muted. Thanks for letting me know. I just love her energy. I'm going to play another clip for y'all, but I just love her energy. And it was such a fun podcast, just really casual, sharing my experience. But let me play one more clip for y'all.
In the last 2 years, you've done a lot of episodes, an impressive amount. So what is the most, or some of the most surprising elements of that journey? Like what have been some of the more surprising things that you've learned about people's usage and habits and things like that?
It's so interesting because everybody's different with this plant, right? And I'm currently at 84 episodes of the Kr8tom Stories podcast. There's a lot of them.
That's
If people want
awesome.
to go listen to it, just go to kr8tomstoriespodcast.com. It's also in your favorite podcast player, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah. You can link to it in the show notes. That'll be awesome. So people can go check it out. You know, some of the interesting things that has surprised me was how many times somebody in the course of our interview say, like, for an example, they're using Kratom because of their chronic pain issues. So they're talking about all this, and then they say, you know what? Through this, I realized I don't need my anxiety medications anymore, or I don't need my ADHD medication anymore. So many times my guests will say, I also realize I don't crave alcohol anymore. And one of my guests uses Kratom to curb her addiction to opiates. She had a huge drug problem for a long time, and it's helped her tremendously. And then when I was interviewing her, she said, you know, I realize I've had a 6-pack of beer in my refrigerator for months. It never sits for months. It usually is gone very quickly. She goes, I realize I don't even want it. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to throw it out. I'm like, that is wild to me. So it's just, I find it so interesting, like how many people are able to get off a ton of meds, a ton of pharmaceuticals, or they just realize they don't even drink alcohol anymore, and they're fine with that. Like, just interesting how this plant is, as Dr. McCurdy, leading Kratom scientist, says, it's like a symphony orchestra. It does so much.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. I don't think her microphone's working good. That's some serious background sound. Sarah,
That
let
was
me
a
know.
really good clip.
Yeah, it was a good clip. Let's see. Sarah's joining us. Good to see you. Let me see.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
She was having definitely some audio
Yeah,
issues. I
she'll be
muted
back.
her. Yeah. Can't wait to get her perspective on things. But I love her energy. I loved her questions. I mean, what a great question! Like asking about like what are things that I've noticed from all these interviews I've done. And by the way, I'm at 87 episodes. That was back when her and I did the interview. When she interviewed me, I was at 84 episodes. We've had so many of them. I'm really wowed by the fact that in 2 years I got us up to 87 episodes of the podcast. And what's so crazy is that y'all, this is my background. Like, I've been podcasting for a long time. I love podcasting. I got so many people to podcast. I'm like, this is one of the best ways to connect with people and grow your audience, share your message. And when Kratom when I discovered Kratom and it was working so well for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to start a podcast. That's just very me. And I'm like, and I'm going to call it Kratom Stories because it's all going to be all about stories from people. I'm just going to interview people. And I was so excited. I'm like, this is going to be great. But I had to put it off for several years because I was taking care of my mom. I remember telling my mom was still with it at the time, and I remember telling her about it. She was so excited for me, y'all. This was a mother who hated that I was in pain management, hated that I took all those narcotics. I didn't even tell my parents for a long time because I knew they were not going to like hearing that. I never had addiction issues or anything, but I know they would not be on board, you know. And sure enough, once I told them, my mom was not very happy. And sometimes she'd say, call them drugs. I'm saying, they're not my drugs, they're my medications. There's a difference. And then one time I made her go with me to the pain management doctor. I was just so tired of her negativity. I said, look, you're coming with me so you can see what this is all about. And what I go through, you're going to see how great my doctor is so you get a better perspective. Because people that don't understand it and aren't living it don't get it, you know. And it was eye-opening for her. And she really understood what I was going through after I made her go with me. And but I knew she'd be thrilled that I found an alternative. And when I told her about Kratom, this was before the dementia set in, she was really excited for me. So, and I had just moved back home to be her in-care caregiver. And she, you know, I was there when I lost the meds, when I'm trying to figure out what to take, freaking out like, do I find a drug dealer? I don't want to have to do that. I'm trying to take care of my mom. Like I don't want to go down that road. Plus, I was more nervous about what if it was laced with fentanyl and it kills me, you know. Who's going to take
see, I didn't care. I didn't care if I lived or died if I got it off the street because I was in so much pain. So, yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to be able to function. Thank you, Dr. Heidi. I just wanted to be able to function and not suffer and be able to take care of my mom, because that was my number one goal, was to help her. And I was able to do it with my opiates and pain management, but I still was in a lot of pain, but she was easier to take care of. It was over the years as her health declined and she required more physical help. And thank God I was using Kratom, because with my physical limitations, they weren't as bad once I started using Kratom. And I couldn't believe, like, being able to get her in and out of a wheelchair, being able to take her to a doctor's appointment, and the wheelchair we had at the time was very heavy. So we had to get a new one that was lighter. So it had to be something I could pull out of the car myself, like in and out of the trunk. And even though I got a lighter one that was easier for me to do and I could do by myself, there's no way I could have done that if I was still in pain management taking opiates. I did not get the kind of pain relief where I could have done that. So I'm really grateful I was able to care for her as her health, you know, progressively got worse and it became more of a physical job for me. And yeah, it was thrilling for me to do. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
There we are. Now we
Hi.
can hear you. We were getting some weird feedback and couldn't really hear you, but this is a lot better.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you there, so I had to leave and come back, and now it's good. I can hear you. So
thank you for coming and joining us on the Kr8tom Gals. We're just hanging out, watching videos, and
thank you for having me.
You.
You too. Hi.
Good to see you.
You too.
yeah, we're so glad you're here because you know, I love hearing everybody's perspective on things with all the stuff we're watching. And so I was just playing a couple of video clips from a podcast I was on, but we're going to get into the news stories now because there are some news stories to watch that we haven't gotten to yet. But you're a big part of the Kr8tom community. I've had you on the podcast, you and your husband, Dan. I got to go get the episodes up on the new YouTube channel, but they're all on the podcast website. They're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I can now put videos on Spotify. So actually,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I just learned how to do it not that long ago. So I think maybe the last couple of months of video of episodes, they're now the video version, whereas before it was the audio version. So I'm really excited about that. I didn't know how to do it before, but now I know how. So yeah, all the episodes are intact. It's just I really was pushing YouTube. Like that was my thing this year. Was really push YouTube hard, and it really paid off and made a difference. And so for anybody that just got here and missed the first part of the conversation, I was talking earlier about losing my main YouTube account at Kratom Stories Podcast. So we're on the backup, Kratom Real Talk. So we don't have a whole lot of subscribers here, but we definitely need everyone, helping to spread the word to, send people over here to
Definitely.
subscribe so we can build it back up. What was really sad is I had just reached a huge milestone on YouTube a week before I lost the channel on Monday. A week before, I had surpassed 175,000 views on that channel.
That's such a bummer.
Lifetime views. And I've only had the channel for like 2 years, and I didn't really take it seriously until January of this year. So I worked so hard on it, and it was making a difference. And I was so proud of all the effort I put into it. So it's just been incredibly frustrating to.
It definitely is. And people don't realize how much work you put into that with promoting it and content and everything. It's a lot of work, and then they just erase it. It's not right.
Yeah, they erase it.
And just keeping it all in order too. That is just huge.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Yeah,
A lot for one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love doing it. I mean, I'm a techie person. I love doing it. I teach people how to do it. So, it's in my wheelhouse. It's just.
I know how that feels though, but I had a Facebook group. We had about 6,000 women in it. It was on the women's Kratom one, and it got shut down. And I lost half my people. I had a backup group, but trying to get everyone back and everything I lost a lot of things that I wrote, like educational things. So I know how you feel about that when it just gets taken away,
It's hard, but it happens. It happens. I lost my first TikTok account a couple of years ago for my advocacy, and I turned around and started another one, which is my current one. It's been threatened many times for them. They've warned me so many times, and it's still there.
I'm on my third women's group, but we still just rebuild and make a new one. So
Exactly. And I really appreciate you, Sarah, being so active in our Kratom Real Talk community on school. It makes such a difference. You share so much educational information that's so helpful. So thank you for all the work you put into it.
You're welcome. I love school. I love that I can say and spell Kratom in there and not get in trouble or put in jail or whatever. So
it's so refreshing.
It's nice. Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the comment. Gigi's here, says she found you, and she says she loves your blends.
Oh, hi. That's awesome.
Yeah. So also for anybody that wasn't here at the beginning of the last hour when we started, it's hard for me to ask for help, but I would appreciate any support people can do. So over on our school platform, I just set up the subscription tiers, which is very much like a Patreon. So while we still have our Kratom Real Talk on school free, it will always be free. For those that want to help out, I did just set this up where if anybody wants to help contribute, whether you just do it once and then go back to the free, or you do it more regularly, is set up to do $10 a month or $25 a month. You can also click on it and do it annually. A lot of flexibility. You can always change from one to another at any time. But any little bit helps, because this is something I'm not hired to do. I don't get paid to do. I just love helping to bring our community together. And I'm using all the tools of what I know. And I've been in digital marketing for next month will be 30 years. I'm really just 2 weeks away from 30 years of all this techie digital marketing, social media. I've been doing the social media for about 20 years. I'm the person that teaches people how to do all this stuff. I do it, and then I teach people, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
So I've been doing all this stuff a long time. I know how to do it, and I love taking my passion for natural kratom and doing what I can to help spread the message. And it's been very effective. I mean, so many people are getting so much assistance, education, learning more about advocacy and how they can get involved. So I really love doing all this.
Yeah, it's a really good tool for people to see how to reach out and what's going in their local states as well, because they really need to know what's going on in their states with, what happened in Ohio and stuff, and they can just do emergency bans or whatever. But Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I
it's-
appreciate you and Venus being so good in our school community at sharing all that latest advocacy stuff. Venus has been doing a tremendous job of taking a lot of the info that's been
Yep.
passed around of like what's the latest with advocacy, and then I know you've been sharing a lot of that stuff too, Sarah. So thank you all so much for keeping
Yep.
all that information in there, because it's so important. If people
It
don't
is.
know, they can't help.
Right.
know?
And
Yeah.
so they can know to write a letter or call someone, at the office of the government where they are and things like that, and tell them their story and how it helps. And them just talking about them stories, even online or on your podcast, that helps a ton too.
A lot.
So,
And
yeah.
I'd like to get more people's stories on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
a live stream. It's not this. It's just we set a time to record. It's just you and me. Y'all have all been on it. Y'all know how I keep it low
Mhm.
stress,
Yep.
easy. It's just a conversation that I happen to be recording that will come out
Right.
later.
Yeah. I'm trying. I've been asking around for people, so trying to get them on there. I understand some people get a little nervous, but it's fun. It's not stressful, so you can do it.
Yeah. Betty, thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you're getting Laura's emails and doing all the advocacy stuff. I'm going to play the latest news stories that have come out this week that I want to make sure everybody's aware of. So I'm going to start first with a news story out of Tucson, Arizona. That's interesting. So let me play this for y'all.
Kratom advocacy group, the Global Kratom Coalition, held an online media briefing this afternoon and about a new consumer alert on synthetic opioids deceptively sold as natural kratom. In today's meeting, the group called for state and federal action to separate natural kratom leaf from these synthetic products. They also talked about regulatory impacts and how to help the public and retailers tell the difference.
When you walk into stores, you can still find these illicit substances on the shelf, which are often masquerading as natural kratom or masquerading as natural, safe dietary supplements, when the fact is they are not.
Meantime, Attorney General Chris Mays warns kratom users to be skeptical of products sold in gas stations. Kratom is also known as gas station heroin or legal morphine.
So that was interesting, framing it like fake kratom. So that's interesting. That's I think, an interesting way the media portrayed it in that, because we haven't seen them doing it like that.
No, I haven't seen that.
And kudos to the GKC for putting out information and going
Yes.
on that news station and talking. I think that was really good. Vina, are you talking about the donation to the Buy Me a Coffee you did recently? Because I got that. Is that what you're talking about? I appreciate that too. And earlier, I also mentioned, for anybody that just got here more recently, on the Kratom Stories podcast website, there is a donation page where it's for those that want to do PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Cash App. I have all those on there as well. And look, there's no pressure. If anybody wants to help, I appreciate it. I'm not one to ask for help, so it's very hard for me to do that. But after the week I've been through, losing all of that and just thinking about how much time and energy it's going to take just to get the podcast episodes on YouTube. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of work and a long time. So any help and support, because again, I don't get paid to do this. I do this because I want to do it. But that YouTube channel was over 2 years of work. So it's not going to happen overnight, but I want to spend a lot of time on it and get it back to where it was as quickly as possible. Vina, thank you for that donation on Buy Me a Coffee. Appreciate it. All support is very helpful. There's another really interesting news story that came out of, where was this community? Guntown. I know they had a news story a while back, Guntown. I don't remember where that was, but this was a very different kind of news story, the way they framed this. So listen to this one.
TVA 9 News begins now with breaking news.
That breaking news tonight comes out of Guntown. There's an active police investigation happening right now. Police raided a convenience store off Highway 45.
Investigators say the business was selling illegal kratom products. The city banned the sale of kratom earlier this year. WTVA's Wayne Herford live in Guntown. Wayne, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that right now there was one store here off the highway, Highway 45 North, here in Guntown at Mitchell Road. That was, for lack of a better term, busted today by Guntown police. Now, the store was selling the drug Kr8tom over the counter. Kr8tom has been eliminated. I should not say eliminated. That's the word. Not the word I'm looking for. It has been banned here in the city of Guntown. And the store was breaking the law, according to the chief of police and the mayor. Now, they went in about 1:30. They found Kr8tom at the Exxon there. I believe you're looking at video at this time. They went in, arrested a person. We don't have that person's name. That person was arrested, has bonded out. And we were told that there was selling it over the counter, which is illegal here in the small city. I talked just moments ago with the chief of police and the mayor about this bust and why they wanted to make it happen.
Over the counter substance that they're buying, it's costing them $8 to $10 a bottle. They're spending all of their life savings on this, and it's a pandemic, really.
I hope we cleaned them out. This is not the end of it. We'll be watching, and we want to put a stop to it here in Guntown.
Now, this is a developing story here in the small town of Guntown because the chief and the mayor both say they are not done yet. They plan to, as they put it, clean out the stores. Now, Kr8tom is highly addictive, and it produces stimulant and opioid-like effects, which are very, very harmful. Kr8tom, I should say, is currently illegal in more than 36 counties and cities in the state of Mississippi. Live here in Guntown.
Ooh, live in Guntown. That was breaking news, y'all.
Yeah.
Story.
News. That was.
It was eliminated. Whoop, I didn't mean eliminated, but that part. Wow.
Yeah, I was taken aback there.
Yeah.
They're like breaking news. This is active investigation happening right now. It's a small town when they.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a big bust. Yep.
Yeah.
And there was nobody
Wow.
around in the
No
cop cars, no people, nothing, just there.
Yeah, but there's
It's
a
a
lot
shame.
of misinformation. I mean, I think
It is.
I know there was a story about Guntown we watched here a while back where I think they did ban all Kr8tom there, but they're talking about people spending their life savings on an $8 bottle. Well, that's extra X. They did show the 7OH at that one point.
And calling it a pandemic is
Calling
very
it a pandemic.
sensationalist.
Yeah.
That was
Unnecessary.
some really interesting choice of wording.
And that they're gonna clean out anyone that has Kr8tom, like they're on a crusade,
Right.
Yeah, that was a lot of
Mission.
interesting ways of describing.
And the way they reported it too, he didn't really know what he was talking about, or what he had to look at the paper to say Kr8tom does this. It's addictive.
They always do that.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're reporting it on, but it's bad. But they don't know what they're talking about.
They Google it, and it always says the same thing. Low doses give you a stimulant effect. High doses give you a sedating effect. We come here to talk about our personal experiences, right? My personal experience is I don't have a difference whether I take a low amount or a high amount. I don't notice. I know a lot of people do, but that's not how this works for everyone. I don't get any sedating effects from Kr8tom, even if I try to take a higher amount. Now, I do have a limit how much powder I can consume. And it's not a low amount. I mean, my maximum is about, although I haven't done it in a while, but actually I have a new thing I wanted to share. And we're not talking about brands. We're not talking about like any of that stuff. But I've told you all that more recently in the evenings. I've had this new thing I've been doing is I'm adding some red to my green and having it be a little bit of a higher dose. Now, I cannot take a huge amount. I mean, my maximum in my past has always been like 2.5 teaspoons max. So 2 teaspoons is roughly 5-ish grams. Okay. And that's been my go-to because I get great pain relief. If I take less, I don't get the good pain relief. But I don't get super energetic if I just take a small amount either. I don't get that. I mean, I do get some nice energy, but for me, I get it. I notice it with my morning, and I notice it. I don't notice it in the afternoon as much. And in my evening, about an hour after I take it about 10 p.m. in the evening, I notice about an hour after that, I'm just like, I feel good, but I got to get ready for bed.
Right.
But I just feel like I got a little tiny pep in my step, but not this, I'm full of energy and I'm caffeinated and I need to, it's not that. It's kind of hard to describe. And I just feel like I just feel good and I can do more. But lately, what I've been doing is I've been adding some red. But the thing is that I know from my personal experience is I can't take less, because when I used to first experiment with adding some red at night is I would do maybe 1.5 teaspoons of green and 1/2 teaspoon of red. But then I don't always get the good pain relief. So recently I said to myself, well, I haven't done 2.5 teaspoons in a while. Why don't I just do my 2 of green like I always do and do the 1/2 of a red? And so I've been doing that, and I'm not noticing that I sleep that much better from doing that, but I'm getting really good pain relief, and maybe it's because I'm just taking a little bit more kratom. But also red is going to be a lower mit. Reds have never, I can't take a red by itself or 1/2 and 1/2 of a 1/2 green, 1/2 red. But I feel like this new thing where I'm supplementing, and I've noticed real recently, it's like, oh, my back is not bothering me at all when I've been down like late in the evening. Whereas even though I'm taking my kratom, I'm still going to feel it more at night because of gravity, being up all day. I'm going to definitely feel it more. So that's been kind of my new thing, is this experiment with 2.5. And it's just this reminder, even though I'm well over 6.5 years in, it'll be 7 years next year, is that things can change and you can always experiment, try new things and learn new things. And here I've been at my same 2 teaspoon dose every 6 hours for at least 6 years, more than 6 years. Minus when I experimented in the beginning and got started. But it's okay to try different things, and who knows, maybe you need more, maybe you need less, maybe you're fine where you're at, or you try different strains or different things. But I just love that I'm all these years in, I'm so set in my ways, but I'm still open to trying other things and finding what works. Do y'all come do that as well?
Yeah, I do that. Every once in a while I'll throw in like 2 grams of white or yellow. Or now I'm trying the fermented reds, a couple grams on top of what I normally take for my on my greens. But the thing is even though it's extra on top, I don't drink more. I still drink like the same amount of it that I have in the bottle, and then when I wake up later, I'll drink more. But I definitely love being able to play around with it and figure out what works best for me. And if it doesn't work, no big deal. It's not going to hurt me. But if it does work, that's great. I have something new to try that'll help.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, same thing. I'm similar to you. I really like greens. It gives me energy, but not, like you said, not that huge, like super burst of energy, but it's like calm and it helps me get through the day. On the weekends, I add either red or yellow when I'm not working as much or doing as much, and I can more like relax at home. So it's more relaxing. And same thing, I feel like it does help a little bit longer with the pain relief with the red in the evening, because when I'm sitting down and stuff, I get sore from sitting down, and like I'm finally, my body is stopping so I can feel everything more. But I notice that definitely helps me a lot. So it's kind of cool how you can experiment with and taking different, types at different times for the day, depending on what you need for relief.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we all learn from each other just by talking about this,
Yeah.
And I love this. I love our community. Okay, I got a news story out of Ohio I'm going to play next for y'all. Let me bring this up.
If you've walked into a smoke shop recently, you've probably seen Kratom on the shelves, or at least until Friday. That's because the Ohio Board of Pharmacy put a 180-day ban on the sale of all forms of Kratom that aren't 100% natural.
This is nasty, nasty stuff. And it needs, frankly, to go away. There's no dispute about that. Everybody thinks that needs to go away. So
Governor Mike DeWine asked the Ohio Pharmacy Board for the temporary ban. But what is kratom? According to the Ohio Department of Agriculture, kratom is a tropical tree in the coffee family. The leaves can be ground into a powder that can help reduce pain, anxiety, and opioid use disorder. But one of the biggest concerns is when manufacturers extract the 7-OH compound, an opioid that can be more potent than morphine, and make it stronger in the synthetic products.
Traditional kratom isn't bad. It can be a tool to help with many things, but 7-OH was just extremely addictive. It kind of led people down the wrong path.
That's Kenny Bruce, who co-owns First Choice Kratom, which sells only natural kratom products. He says the ban will actually help his business.
A lot of our old customers went to taking 7-OH, so they no longer came into our store, so now we will see them come back.
But for more traditional smoke shop owners, they say the ban makes no sense.
They say it's addictive, but everything can be addictive too. Food, drink, smoke, anything. If you use it in the wrong way, if it's too high, they can make it like, if, for example, if this 100 milligram too high, they can make it 50 mg.
So do regulations rather than a whole ban?
Yes, regulation, of course.
Mohammed Abu Zara, the owner of Oakley Smoke and Vape, says his sales have already fallen up to 30% because of the ban. The ban currently includes any kratom formulations on this list. And while natural kratom is still available in stores, that too could change.
The so-called natural kratom, which I think is also a huge problem as well. You've got some difference of opinions about that. So I asked the pharmacy board, go hold hearings.
In Cincinnati, Marlena Lang, WCP.
Oh my God.
Wow.
How narrow-minded is
Yeah.
that?
It needs to go away. This is bad stuff. Really?
Wow. Wow. I mean,
Like I
that's
said-
what we're up against. We're having to deal with that narrow-mindedness.
Yeah. And they don't even want to hear our side or look at the research on it. There is research, there is scientific data on it showing that it's not what you're saying it is at all. It's frustrating.
There's so much research. People like to go around saying, well, there's not even that much research. There is so much research. There's like close to 1,000 research papers on it. Dr. McCurdy has publicly talked about how he's responsible for 10% of that, which is a huge number.
Yeah.
He's been involved with so many studies. There's right now, the FDA is doing a study on, I think, addiction, right? Or dependency, something. They're doing it here in Houston at Baylor. FDA already did a single dose study a few years ago, but they are not publicly publishing it on their website because it would make them look bad. They've been trying to get this banned forever, right? So they've done, FDA has been involved with studies. Why don't they publicly acknowledge that on their website?
Right.
We wouldn't be dealing with all this. You know what we'd be doing if the FDA would just acknowledge what they know, that natural kratom is safe, is that we could just come together here and just have fun watching fun videos and talking about how much we love kratom and how helpful it is, and not have to look at all this negative misinformation and propaganda.
Yeah. And the thing is, when we post something that's educational, or when I post something that is good for kratom, it does get taken down. They don't want to listen to it. So it's frustrating, but they can talk bad about it and say things about it that they believe, but we can't say what we believe. And how is that fair?
Right. When our beliefs are backed up by science too.
Exactly. And that we have experienced it. We are kratom users. We had experience, years of experience, and you don't want to listen to us. And we're normal people. It's moms, it's dads, it's veterans. It's not just people, like they make it out like it's people that aren't like us, like normal people. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, it sends the message to me that we're not, we're not being listened to. We're not worth the time or the energy to invest in investigating this and forming regulations or enforcing regulations. And it's just it continues to be a struggle between the consumers that it benefits and the government.
Yeah, especially when you think they're listening, like Connecticut that did that whole big terrific listening to us, and then they are scheduling it anyway, or say they are, when almost I'd say 90% of the calls were against the ban and for regulation.
They said it was 431 people against the ban and only 33 people.
Wow.
And they did not listen to them. Yeah, that's how big of a difference there was.
That's just wrong. That is just
It's so wrong. But they didn't even listen to that or care.
Well, their whole reasoning was that they didn't have the authority to do anything. They were just there to find out what level it should be in. But I don't think that's acceptable. I think you know, if you're there to determine that and it's clearly not warranted, like what do you do? Do you just go forward with that and sleep well at night, or what? It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
Very.
And that's their job, being in the government, is to listen to the people that they govern. And they're doing the exact opposite and not listening to what people are saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to play something fun. Let's watch something fun for a change. I found something so cute and fun. It's short. It's only a minute long, but this will be a good way to kind of cleanse the palate before we watch our next piece of content that's a little bit longer for you. So y'all get ready for something funny. You're going to like this.
I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted.
He's saying, I got my tapeworms addicted to kratom again.
Addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom again. My tapeworm, addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom. I got my tapeworm, addicted to kratom again.
That was so silly. I just had to play it.
That was silly.
I don't come across kratom songs very often. But I was like, what is this? I mean, just the art itself was funny. But it said, I got my tapeworms addicted to kratom again theme song. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I wonder what made them even think of doing that, you know?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to know, but I thought it was funny and comical, and I thought it would give us all a great laugh. So it was more about just, it was a fun song. I don't care for the words, but it's like funny, kind of funny. That somebody thought of that, you know. I don't know what that was about. So next up, this is going to be a longer form piece of content I want to play, and we'll probably wrap up after this. Is that it's a long piece. It's 24 minutes long, but it's an interesting. I haven't watched the whole thing, but it's super interesting. There's this guy, Vincent Vargas, and they're doing this investigative docuseries examining misinformation that took hold in the botanical industry. I'll just read this. It's on X, formerly Twitter. It says, as synthetic 7-OH was disguised and sold as natural kratom, public trust eroded. This series follows the facts, the chemistry, and the consequences of deception sold as wellness. So it's like they're saying it's a full episode. So again, it's 24 minutes long, and it's going to be a series. So I came across it this week. It looked interesting, and I didn't want to watch it all because I wanted to watch it here with y'all. So I thought this will be fun to watch together. But, Angela, so if you're talking about the video I just played, it was just a song I found on YouTube. And what I'll do later is here on YouTube, I'll go into the description, put links to everything we watched. I always do that. So if anybody wants to have the link to something we watched, just check back later in the day or the next day here on the YouTube channel, and you'll find it. So yeah, let me play this because the little bit I watched was intriguing. Does this sound interesting to y'all?
It really does.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's giving good information.
Yeah. Do you want me to just play? Hold on. I think my cable has a short. It keeps trying to cut out. Do you want me to play it in its entirety, or do you want me to? I mean, we might just want to stop at different points and talk about it. I don't know. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, so.
Yeah, that makes sense to just watch it, and you can stop it and talk about different points through it. I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
And Becca, no worry. We totally understand the sunglasses, and
I appreciate it. I feel so like.
No,
You're fine. It's okay.
We just come. This is a place where you just come as you are. It's casual. It's laid back. So.
No judgment.
Yeah, no judgment here. Yeah. So if there's any point y'all want me to stop, just say something. I'll just say stop here, and I'll stop it so we can talk about it. So yeah, but I am going to take a restroom break in just a moment because I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. But I'm going to get it started because this looks really interesting. So, but if I'm not on camera, then just like, if there's something you wanted to stop at, just let me know afterwards.
Okay.
So let's see what this is all about.
In every industry, there's a line between truth and deception. The botanical world is no different. Plants like Kr8tom carry real history, real healing, and real culture. But today, they're buried beneath confusion and manipulation. Inside Botanics pulls back that curtain. This series explores the hidden world behind the botanical industry, tracing how truth and transparency have become rare commodities in a marketplace built on claims of wellness. Across the industry, misinformation spreads faster than truth. Synthetic 7-hydroxymetragenine is being sold and labeled as Kr8tom, damaging lives, poisoning trust, and misleading the public. Companies hide behind lab reports and influencer narratives, pushing something chemical while calling it natural. We're here to expose that. For us, this story is personal. We've spent years documenting the line between truth and corruption, and this is one of the clearest battles we've seen yet.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Vincent Vargas. I am the host of the Borderland podcast from Ironclad. I've been doing some investigative journalism for, 4 years now when it comes to the border and drugs and cartels. And just recently, I came across a subject that I found very fascinating that still aligns with all those areas. It's called Kr8tom and 7-hydroxy. Or is it the same or is it not? Either way. The further you dig into it, you start getting into some nefarious characters that are involved in the synthetic version of, I would say, an opiate that is on the market that you can find at gas stations or smoke shops near you. So this subject became so interesting that me and my partner, Jake, decided to try and film a series of what we've come across.
We connected with well-known Kr8tom influencer Jordan Richard, and he shared with us some of his footage from Indonesia.
A big ass leaf, dude. Bugs? Did bugs eat it?
That's what this whole journey was for, right?
Halfway across the world.
Ever seen one in person like that?
No, never. I've only seen the powder. Amazing to me that there's so much controversy. Like, some people say this leaf saved their life, and other people say it's taken lives.
That is why there's so much confusion about Kr8tom and 7-OH in this whole industry and why I wanted to kind of address it. First, let me explain. Kr8tom. Back in the day, farmers used to chew on it for a little bit of energy. At low doses, it creates a kind of an energy effect. And at higher doses, they would be used as a sedative. And so that's natural Kr8tom as we know it. This is where it gets interesting.
Kr8tom comes from the leaves of a tropical tree. Inside those leaves are natural compounds called alkaloids. The main one is metragenine. It's what gives Kr8tom its natural effects. As the leaf ages, a tiny bit of metragenine turns into another compound called 7-hydroxymetragenine. These natural traces account for less than 1% of the plant's composition and have minimal effect on the body. But some people took advantage of that process. They isolated 7-hydroxymetragenine and recreated it in labs using synthetic chemicals. What they made wasn't Kr8tom. It was a man-made opioid. This synthetic version strongly affects the brain's opioid receptors, making it highly addictive. Yet, it's being sold under the name Kr8tom, even though It isn't Kratom at all. It's a lab-made 7-hydroxymetragenate product that the plant itself could never naturally produce. These fake products mislead consumers, confuse lawmakers, and harm people. What started as a natural leaf used for energy and relief has been twisted into a synthetic drug disguised as nature.
That is what's been going all over the market, and that's the confusion. People call that Kratom because it's come from the same plant, but it's a synthesized version of it.
Within just 2 years, the flood of concentrated 7-OH products grew into what is now estimated to be a $9 billion industry, fueled by rapid distribution, minimal oversight, and nationwide demand. An unregulated compound went from unknown to mass market.
7-hydroxymetragenate is an interesting one because a lot of companies that started with Kratom have kind of evolved to making the synthetic 7-hydroxy, which now currently is in the media because the government is going to classify it as a Schedule I drug. And so now we have this interesting conversation. We have Kratom companies who are making Kratom that they believe is ethical, and then you have companies that are creating 7-hydroxymetragenate and what they believe is another alternative for opiates. Throughout this, we've been researching it and I guess interviewing people. And from what we have seen, it seems that 7-hydroxy is a very dangerous drug that's in the market that nefarious characters tend to help exploit those who are addicts.
From what we have found, there is very little understanding among professionals when it comes to the difference between metragenine and 7-hydroxymetragenate. To learn more, we spoke with Matt Shota, co-founder of a respected clinical testing lab, to learn more about their experience when it comes to these substances.
My name is Matt Shota. I'm the co-founder of Beech Tree Diagnostics.
Beech Tree Diagnostics is a CLIA certified, CAP accredited clinical laboratory in Draper, Utah. They've analyzed thousands of Kratom-related samples, giving them a rare data-driven view of real-world use.
We've always had a philosophy of asking our clients what the needs are. And for a minute there, Kratom was the substance of choice if you wanted to not test positive on a drug test. So, and to this day, very few laboratories identify Kratom. I think, and this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong, this is my understanding, is we didn't understand the difference between Kratom and 7-OH. They're different.
That's correct. Kratom and 7-OH are completely different, yet most people still don't realize it, creating widespread confusion among consumers and the public alike. 7-OH is spreading across the country. Its availability in gas stations and smoke shops makes it easily accessible. Because 7-OH came into the market as just another Kratom product, consumers had no idea what they were getting into. We connected with Detective John Beck from the Salt Lake City Police Department, who has raised many red flags about the 7-OH issue, ultimately pioneering the idea in Utah that 7-OH needs to be taken way more seriously than it is.
So I'm Detective John Beck. I am with the Salt Lake City Police Department's Special Investigations Division. I work in our narcotics and vice team. And so we're underneath our Special Operations Division with Salt Lake City Police Department. So what got us to 7-hydroxy was that we were following these trails of money. You know, we're looking at these guys that were the owners of smoke shops, or these guys that were selling their products to smoke shops, or there were guys that were putting gambling machines in the back stores of smoke shops, or there were guys who were running and involved in human trafficking and forcing these women to work for them and branding them with their tattoos or their brand. And then we started seeing these 7-hydroxy tablets, and they became more and more common. That we were just seeing these things on the shelves, you know, like that was obviously different than its partner Kratom, or what they would claim was its partner Kratom. And we were noticing that the people that were coming and buying this stuff were the same people that were buying fentanyl and heroin and hard drugs off the street, but they were coming in and they're buying this product that we had very little knowledge about. And we're like, well, why would these guys care about coming in and buying something that's like a 7-hydroxy or 7-hydroxytradionine or pseudodoxyl? Like we looked at all these tablets and we couldn't, it was hard for us to figure out why these people are using it.
CEO of Diversified Botanics, Ryan Nidell, invited us to attend his sales rep training to learn more about metragenine and 7-OH.
There's enough studies that have come out now that at 10 milligrams of consumption of 7-hydroxy, you've triggered everything you need to become addicted. 10 milligrams, I have the studies, I will share it with you. 10 milligrams is indicative of what's required to go to.
Oh, we got to pause here. 10 milligrams. I have y'all muted, just unmute if you want to. 10 mil. Have y'all heard that one before? Because I haven't heard of like a specific amount that they find to be addicting.
And how many 10 milligram, like how many times? I don't think he mentions it.
Right.
I would be interested.
It's going to be different for everyone. It's going to, because also,
yeah, of course.
I mean, I love Ryan Nidell. We've had him here on the Kr8tom Gals, great guy. And he's been very vocal against 7-OH. But then let's equate this to when we were taking our opiates for pain management. So if there was some threshold, they say that, I just think it's subjective. I think there's a threshold of like, well, you're going to be addicted if you take this amount or more. Well, my body processes opiates quickly, and I was able to take very high doses. Am I going to be dependent on it physically? Yes. Did I ever have an addiction to it? No. Even when my MME was extremely high, higher than the average person. So it seems like it could always be subjective, though, but I find it interesting that he gave like a specific amount. I wonder where that came from, like a study? Did he?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just curious, like where that comes from.
Yeah,
but
he said
also,
he had
I wouldn't
studies.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, though, either. I mean, you know.
No, and it also probably depends on whether you have an addictive personality, too.
Right.
You know?
Well, whenever we hear the stories of people having issues, is almost always somebody with the addictive personality where they already had substance abuse problems,
right,
or alcohol problem or something. And while that affects a lot of people in the US, a lot of people don't suffer from that.
Right.
You know, when I was like in my teens and 20s, I used to smoke cigarettes. We all did back in the 80s, right? But I was never addicted. I could smoke, I kid you not. There was a time where I was smoking a pack a day. I was able to wean down and go cold turkey with no issue. And friends that were smokers hated that I could do that. But I was just able to. And I thought, this is interesting that I could just stop. And I never had an alcohol problem. And I drank my fair share. I think a lot of us did when we were young. But it just shows that everybody's different. Right? I mean, I always thought it was interesting that I never had any issues and I could always stop anything. But I never felt like this emotional, and not to take away from anybody else's experience, I never felt an emotional attachment. I'll tell you what I have emotional attachment to: chocolate. And it's funny, but it's true. Like, I love chocolate. It's very hard for me to not consume chocolate. Seriously. Like, I love chocolate. And that's addicting. But it doesn't affect how I am in my life. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not jonesing for a piece of chocolate, but I'm just trying to give some perspective that there's so many other ways of looking at all this. And I'm not knocking Ryan Nidell at all. It's just, I think it's so subjective with these things.
Yeah.
But also my NeuroGum, which I talk about here a lot, has natural caffeine. Caffeine is addicting. I've had issues with caffeine. I'm not this emotional need for it. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker. I know a lot of people talk about they have to have their coffee, they can't function. But if I stop caffeinated sodas or I stop my NeuroGum, I am going to have the caffeine headaches and I'm going to feel crappy for a few days, and it's not a big deal for me, and then I'm fine. But actually, I had been using my NeuroGum every day for quite a while, at least 2 pieces a day. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't consume so much caffeine. But I like it, and I like that it has L-theanine in it and vitamins, so it's just a nice feel-good thing. And so I stopped this week. I'm like, well, I just need to stop. And I didn't even get the caffeine headache. I have before when I've stopped NeuroGum, but I didn't this week. I was totally fine. And it's like, okay. I mean, it'll be whatever it's going to be, but I don't feel like I have to have this and I can't function in my life if I don't go have this today.
Right. You're not going to go rob the convenience store for your bubble gum or for your gum.
Yeah. Or yeah, Dr. Pepper. I stopped. I know we used to talk about our Dr. Peppers here. I love my one Dr. Pepper a day. I stopped months. I'm like, so much sugar. I don't need it. If I'm going to have caffeine, I'd rather just have my NeuroGum. So I completely stopped Dr. Peppers.
I did that too. I lived in Texas, and I think that's just what you drink there when I lived there. And I started drinking it every day. Same thing. I'm like, this is not good. And I stopped it, and I was fine. It wasn't a big deal, but yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's different. But I'm just curious, like, how do they come up with the 10 milligrams?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity. I mean, I'm sure their studies are going to start giving us more insights like that. But I just thought it was an interesting comment he made.
Definitely.
I agree.
So, all right, I'll get back to it. I just thought it was such an interesting comment. And when I hear things like that, I always think of how subjective it is. And it's like, well, that's like saying I was addicted to my opiates when I wasn't, because I'm sure there is a milligram or an MME where they've determined, well, people are going to be addicted at this level.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's always 100% right. All right. Well, y'all let me know if y'all want to stop at any other points. Isn't this an interesting documentary series?
It really is.
I'm impressed.
Jordan's always have good documentaries.
Well, he's has all that great footage going to Indonesia, and him and Tim are going back, I think, in February, I think they said is when they're going back. So I tell you, when his documentary eventually comes out, it's going to be phenomenal. So, all right, let me put this back on. I'm going to mute y'all too, but just unmute if you have any thoughts.
Become addicted. The way the FDA defines addiction versus habit forming, this is also important because you guys are going to face this. If a product is deemed addictive, that requires chemical intervention to stop consumption. You would need something else to be introduced to your system to stop taking a product. Kr8tom is not addictive. It does not require third-party intervention. There has been no study conducted that says Kr8tom needs third-party intervention. There are studies that show 7-hydroxy is addictive. They're different.
In the training, Ryan shared a video he used to educate policymakers in Washington, D.C. to illustrate the difference between mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine.
To consume 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine, you'd only have to consume these 4 small press tabs. Something you could throw in your hand, throw in your mouth, be down in just a second. To consume the same amount, 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine through natural sources, you'd have to consume 476 of these 15 milliliter bottles, a tremendous amount. But then even more, if you wanted to consume that same 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxymitragynine, you'd have to consume 9.5 kilograms of raw leaf powder. The conversation isn't around banning raw leaf powder or predictable extract. The conversation's around just how easy and quick it is to consume this much highly addictive, highly potent synthesized 7-hydroxymitragynine.
In reality, it's a substance that is, depending on how you look at it and depending on its concentration, is on average 17 to 47 times stronger in strength than morphine. I had a few people that were aware of this substance, and they were aware of what it is, and they were aware of its potency, and they were aware of its availability and its easy access, and it's that it comes in these forms that don't look dangerous. If parents saw it in their kid's pocket coming home from school, they probably wouldn't think that it was something bad. And the more and more and more that I studied into it, the more I had to realize that I have to do some work if I'm going to be somebody that's going to make a dent to this stuff.
Detective John Beck has worked on the largest sting operations in the state and possibly the entire country. working to educate leaders of the state of Utah on the dangers and addictiveness of 7-OH. So you have a guy like John who is spearheading 7-OH here in Utah. And then you see the rest of kind of society really lost on what's going on here. There's women, men, there's all kinds of people that are getting fooled by 7-hydroxy and they're posting on TikTok. And so you're seeing that the misconception of thinking it's Kratom and all of a sudden they're buying 7-OH and receiving these free samples, how it's kind of taken their lives. Me and Jay created a kind of a PSA to kind of give people the information of it, and a few social media influencers went forward and posted it. And so our goal was to try and help educate people on, like, what is this and what's happening right now in our society that people don't even realize it's right under their nose.
You'd never expect the most addictive thing in your neighborhood is sitting quietly on a gas station shelf. Marketed as herbal relief.
This is really a sinister industry.
The nation's Health and Human Services Secretary sounding the alarm on a compound known as 7-OH.
This legal compound, 7-OH, is stronger than morphine.
Scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid. And yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations.
And worst of all, most people have no idea what it is. No idea that a single tablet can lead to a full-blown addiction. It's a powerful synthetic compound with no regulation and no oversight.
Look at all that 7-hydroxymetrogene. Bro, this shit is the most addicting thing I've seen come into this smoke shop.
By the time you realize how bad it is, it's already got a hold of you. 7-OH. It's not what you think, and it's everywhere.
I was someone that got tricked into thinking it was just another Kratom product.
I'll just take one every now and then to boost my energy and get through the day as a mom. That ruined my fucking life.
As we were trying to find stories and create awareness about 7-OH, a well-known influencer was going undercover at the Champs Convention looking to expose the 7-OH industry. This is what he captured.
All right, so you guys know me for doing a lot of quasi-investigative journalism. And most of the things that I post online, I'm never in the field until now. I'm going to the Champs Convention, which if you don't know what that is, it's a giant trade show where businesses sell to other businesses, vapes, CBD, marijuana, Kratom, and this year, 7-hydroxy or 7-OH. If you're asking yourself, what the fuck is that? It is more addictive than morphine. It is something that you can buy without a prescription, you can buy without ID, and they can sell it anywhere.
So to expose this industry, I obtained credentials as if I was a buyer from Utah. I went to all of the vendors and talked to them. And the things that they told me were absolutely terrifying. These are drug dealers wearing a polo shirt at a convention.
What is it? Tell me about it.
So,
imagine we know nothing.
Yeah, so it's 7-hydroxymetrogene. So it is a kratom leaf extract. Got it. So it hits the opiate receptors. So it's very similar to someone if they were to be taking like a perk or something like that.
Taking what?
Like a perk or something like that.
Oh wow.
We're not supposed to be saying that word too loud, but it describes the most similar.
We can't say perks.
They don't like that.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to that, and the biggest thing is it has no overdose as well. So you can take as much as you want, you'll just throw up. We're not supposed to be saying that word too loud, but it describes the most similar.
We can't say perks.
The next booth we hit up was Hydroxy. And Hydroxy is very interesting because they recently received a letter from the FDA, which I'll put up on the screen. We stopped by to see if they were still up to the same things and if they had heeded any of the FDA warnings. Here's the footage we got from it. You be the judge.
Why did people pick this over just for Kratom? Because I mean, you sell a lot of Kratom, but like, why did people pick this over Kratom?
The convenience, I think, the ease of use, and
but like over a gummy or something.
What it for us, I think, particularly is our reputation. We're well known in the industry. We're a quality product.
We don't carry any 7-OH right now. We're in Utah. We release some Kratom right now, but we don't.
This is different.
What's the difference?
To my knowledge, the best of my knowledge is that it's stronger, it's a little bit more pure, I guess, in the sense of the word I should use. What you guys feel?
It's 40 times stronger than Kratom. Have you tried it?
I haven't even tried Kratom, so I'm nervous.
I've never tried this. I've tried
I
Kratom.
heard
It's addictive. All right. Can I get product information for you guys?
Do you have a catalog of contact info?
So we just left Champs. We talked to probably 10 7-OH, 7-hydroxy companies that sold the product. And without even trying, without even asking, without even being weird about it, almost every single one of them compared it to an opiate, compared it to a Percocet, talked about people getting high, talked about addicts. They know. There was one booth, there were 2 girls in it. And I said, hey, have you used this? And they both said, hell no. It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. They know and they do it anyway. They know and they do it anyway.
That video became Goob's fastest shared video he ever posted. Less than a week after he posted it, the FDA went public about their stance on 7-OH.
We owe it to the American people to act decisively, and that's what we're doing today, initiating a process to schedule 7-OH as an illicit substance. To share more, I'd like to welcome to the stage my good friend and colleague, the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, Dr. Marty McCary.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary O'Neill. It's great to be here. 7-OH is not just like an opioid. It does not just have opioid binding properties. 7-OH binds to the mu receptor, which means scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid. And yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations that are popping up all over the United States, and nobody knows what it is.
The FDA is clear about 7-OH, but states aren't. Some have moved to ban 7-OH, while others ban metragenine and kratom instead. In Florida, 7-OH is getting banned, but on the other side of the country, there's a different story unfolding. In October 2025, California health authorities seized over $5 million worth of kratom and 7-OH products in statewide raids, mistakenly conflating natural kratom with its synthetic derivative, 7-hydroxymetragenine.
Just got off the phone with the California narcotics officer. We had a great conversation about kratom, and I wanted to update you guys on exactly what's going on here in California. The state of California, the health board has deemed kratom illegal. You can't sell it as a drug, obviously. You can't sell it as a supplement, and you can't sell it as a food. Department of Health has rated smoke shops, they have rated manufacturers. However, they don't really have a case. No law backing up what they're doing. But some of these smoke shops and manufacturers can actually sue the government because it's total government overreach. But what they're using as their justification is old verbiage from the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA stance on kratom has shifted dramatically. Now it's my job and other people's job to tell the FDA, hey, you need to change your website verbiage. Your website needs to match their current stance. Their website shows their old stance.
So here's the thing. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing what we're seeing, but across the nation, it's confusing. You know, DC says 7-OH is banned. It's going to be a Schedule 1. California decides, that, okay, not just 7-OH, but kratom as a whole. Boom, it's gone. And so you have every state that does its own thing. We have a law enforcement officer here that's just attacking 7-OH. And then Florida completely bans 7-OH, which then changes the sales for Chance, the guy that we're interviewing. And now he's getting kratom sales through the wazoo now. So that's kind of the craziness of this whole space.
John Ramsey of Diversified Botanics invited us to film their meeting on the FDA's stance on kratom in California.
They don't understand the difference between 7-O and kratom. They see 7-O is in kratom naturally after it oxidizes. And so according to them, it's all bad until we can prove to them that it's not. I have already talked to Mac Haddow, who is the president of the American Kratom Association, as well as the attorneys from several leading brands. This is a time where competitors are all coming together because we understand that this is wrong. Yeah. And so we're all working together on it. All of our attorneys, our in-house attorney, their in-house attorneys are all working in tandem to help the American Kratom Association release this product.
If kratom's ever going to grow to the way that it should and be publicly accessed and opened, it has to be regulated. There has to be a standard. You can't have one product be super strong, gonna, you know, potentially harm someone, where another is. It has to be standard across the board.
Our focus is not on kratom. Our focus is on 7-OH, which, according to the Journal of Medical Chemistry, is 13 times more potent than morphine. We have a history in public health of being asleep at the wheel. 30 years after cigarettes were widely used, then we started raising public health concerns. After heroin, crack, cocaine, and other street drugs became popular, about 10 years later, the medical establishment and public health community responded. 18 years after the approval of OxyContin by the FDA, we woke up to a terrible crisis that may have killed almost 1 million Americans. And then again, right afterwards, with fentanyl. We have a history of being asleep at the wheel. For the sake of our nation's children, let's not get caught flat-footed again.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I landed here and it took me 10 minutes to find a place near your studio where I was able to find some gas station heroin.
15 milligrams of pure 7-OH. Says it's lab tested. Should we try it?
Yeah, lab tested. I don't know where the lab is. You can scan that barcode and it probably comes back to some fake certificate of analysis.
These are very strong and they're really great for chronic pain.
Following the exposure on the Sean Ryan Show, Steve Robinson has been inundated with new leads surrounding 7-OH, and that information has now landed in our hands.
I just got off the phone with Steven Robinson. You guys might know him from the Tucker Carlson Show or Sean Ryan Show or Borderland. But he just told me that he's been given information about this subject that people in the creative industry want you to know. They want to remain anonymous, so we'll expose that information on the next episode.
46 We're crabby, so I was like...
When hanging up the phone with Steve Robinson, he mentioned that after the Sean Ryan Show that his company was under a massive cyber attack. So there's something about this subject that some people just don't want you to know. And we're going to keep digging it.
Wow, that was really good. There, y'all are all muted, by the way.
Yeah,
that was so good.
It
I mean,
really
I didn't
was.
want to watch. I saw a little bit of it, but I wanted to wait and watch it with you all together. Wow, that was great reporting.
Yep, I love that it's going to be a series and coming on every week.
Yeah. It's going to be weekly. Is that what
Oh,
it
I
said?
don't know.
I don't know. It just
one.
said that it was going to be a series, a docu-series. So I'll keep an eye out. Now,
Okay.
what's interesting is that there's a YouTube version, but it's not as long. So I'm thinking maybe could they, we're worried about censorship probably.
Probably.
So this is the version on X because it was much longer than the other one. Actually, I think they originally had this one on their YouTube because I always bookmark all the videos we're going to watch, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, I know I bookmarked this. I did some digging, but I knew it was on X. So I'm like, well, I'll just play it on X. But I knew it was somewhere. So I found another one, but the time was way less than the amount of time of this. So I thought, oh, I guess they were worried about, because YouTube is very strict, as we all know.
Yeah.
So I lost my YouTube channel. So thank you to everybody that's here on YouTube, because this was my backup. Kr8tom Real Talk is going to be our new channel moving forward. And actually, I always see the good in everything. The good in all this is I'm kind of rebrand. Like when I started, the first thing I started the podcast, Kr8tom Stories Podcast, Kr8tom Real Talk, Community on School, and Kr8tom Gals all at the same time, December 2023. I don't know why. I just did. It's very me to do. But I was branding everything as Kr8tom Stories Podcast, and I'm a branding person. Again, 30 years of all this stuff. So now with everything that's happened, the actual big picture is Kr8tom Real Talk is forever, because everything we do is Kr8tom Real. Everything I come up with, the name says what it is.
Right.
Everything we do is all about real talk with Kr8tom. So the overarching is Kr8tom Real Talk, which is the Kr8tom Stories Podcast, the Kr8tom Gals live stream, which is this, and the Kr8tom Real Talk community over on School, where there's no censorship. And y'all please come over there if you're not already, because we are highly censored everywhere but there. So go to Kr8tomrealtalk.com. It's free to join. But if you want to help support all the efforts, there are paid tiers in there now, very much like a Patreon, doing some crowdfunding. So feel free to help with all the costs that have been coming out of my pocket for 2 years now. But I do appreciate the support of the companies on board helping me with all the education advocacy. Nudge to Sarah. Appreciate it. We're not going to say details because I want to stay out of trouble. I don't want to lose any more accounts. But over on school, we don't have any issues and we can talk so freely. But if you're on school and you're finding some videos missing and you see the black box or whatever, it's because I got to go swap it out on the YouTube channel because, it's a real nuisance to see like where it's missing on school and on the Kr8tom Stories podcast website where there was a video. Yeah, Angela, it's a series, so we'll keep you posted. We'll play more of these as they come out because that was really good.
Yeah. It's really good, and it really explains the difference because so many people that I talk to are completely confused. Completely. So that's really good for those people to watch this and tell people watch that, and you can understand it a lot better. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Heidi's making such a great point here, which we've talked about a lot here on this weekly live stream, that how are they even allowed, these manufacturers, to put a product like 7OH on the market that has not been tested thoroughly, have not been researched enough, that a lot of people are addicted to. And it's like, well, those manufacturers are at fault, but so is the government because they're allowing it. And what about all the communities that can shut a business down? They have to go through licensing and a whole process to have a storefront anywhere in the country. It's like there should be more finger pointing at the people that allowed this to happen.
Right. And how can those people sell it when they don't even take it themselves? Like he asked her, and she's like, I'm not touching that stuff. If you think it's bad and you don't want to touch it, why are you selling it? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that Goop Undercover was incredible. So that was one of the videos I had on the old YouTube. So I interviewed Goob, phenomenal guy. I'm going to go put that up tonight because that was such a good interview. So I have an interview with him. It was right when that video came out, and we watched that undercover. We watched the whole undercover thing together, and we kept stopping. And I kept asking questions. So we got a lot of behind the scenes of what was going through his mind and what was happening. And yeah, those were a lot of young people working at those booths. It was just a job. And you got the one guy who started off
right,
and it's like, we're not supposed to say that, but it's like a perk. And then you got the girl that's like, hell no, I don't take this. And it was just a job. It's like, wow, that's a rookie salesperson for your company. I'm sure whatever company that was horrified to see they hired some kid to come work their booth. And it was like, hell no. That's funny. But yeah, that was really, this is all educational. People need to know the difference between all of this,
They really do. And
go ahead.
Oh, they should be having more education too about it. Like when you say that smoke shops, like I've told you this before too, that people know nothing about it. And they should have pamphlets or say, hey, before you get this, read this, or the people that sell it to them, they're obviously at fault because they should be giving them a pamphlet, training them about it so they know what they're selling to people, and just not giving them something that they don't know what it is. And they think it's like powder kratom or yeah.
Oh, hi. Is that your mom?
Yep, that's mom. She just popped in for a second.
I didn't even realize she was on there at first. Good to see her.
They say good to see you. All right, I love you, mom. All right, sorry.
So that's I'm a Pip who comes in our comments from time to time. That's Venus's mom. How cool. We've never met her in person. That's so cool.
Yeah, next time she'll have to stay a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that weren't here when we started, how long have we been here? 2 hours now? We've been here an hour and 58 minutes. So we're coming up to 2 hours. So, I have my new YouTube channel, which is we're broadcasting live on there right now. We're also on Christopher's X and his YouTube as well. Thank you to Christopher for doing that. And be sure to subscribe to Kr8tom Real Talk here. And again, this is going to be for the podcast, the live stream, and all the educational stuff. It's going to take me a while to rebuild it. But when we first started 2 hours ago, part of the clip they showed in that series was the video of the FDA one I'm going to play it again for anybody that wasn't here at the beginning. So anybody that's doing any advocating or they're talking to people who don't understand the difference between natural kratom leaf and 7-OH, send them to this video, because this is a good short video. It's only a minute and 45 seconds with clips of what the FDA talked about and how there's a difference between natural kratom and 7-OH. So this is a great educational piece. So let me play it real quick.
We owe it to the American people to act decisively, and that's what we're doing today, initiating a process to schedule 7-OH as an illicit substance.
We're not targeting the kratom leaf or ground up kratom. We are targeting the concentrated synthetic byproduct that is an opioid. Well, first of all, kratom is different from 7-OH. Kratom is not our focus. The kratom leaf has been around for centuries. Some physicians have some health concerns with kratom. Some people describe those as minimal health concerns. Some say there's health benefits. We're not talking about kratom. We're not targeting kratom.
What is it that you're cracking down on? You just announced this yesterday. You're going after a synthetic version of it?
We don't want to get caught flat-footed again. There's a product that's a synthetic product in the vape stores that are popping up on every corner in America. And we want to educate people about that product. It's called 7-OH. It has many other names. When you go really broad and say, look, everything is your brain on drugs, you're not really appropriately risk stratifying to parents who should know. It's important to distinguish the lexicon here. So the kratom plant, which has been used in teas and other substances for centuries, may have some minimal health concerns, but it's not our focus. It's a synthetic concentrated byproduct that is stronger than oxycodone. That's where we're going to focus, and that's where I think we can distinguish where the real public health harm is. This 7-OH product can be deadly.
I'm glad they distinguished that at least. I mean, that's government doing something right for a change. But my stance is the government should be doing more. They should have been doing more all this time. Those manufacturers should not have been allowed to put products like that with drug names and on store shelves like gas stations and convenience stores are so easily accessible. It should have been behind a counter in smoke shops where you get carded. And I don't think we would be in this problem we're in right now. But I am not going to demonize or be against the consumers who are getting great benefit from it for their chronic pain, because if I lost my pain management now in 2025 and I didn't know about kratom and I somehow found 7-OH, I would probably be using it very successfully right now because I can't get my meds, and it'd be better than going to the streets. Right. So I feel for the people I know in the pain community who are also, a lot of them are kratom consumers, powder consumers, that are utilizing it. They're not addicted. They're using it carefully like their narcotics previously. And so I feel for them. But at the same time, I just hate how these products came about and these manufacturers kept upping the dose. When we first saw 7-OH and we were talking about it here a few years ago, we weren't seeing it that much, but they were very low dose. They were like 14 milligram tablets. And then slowly it went up. And where we're at today, we're hearing about like 100 milligram, 200 milligram. They just kept upping and upping the dose. I remember at one point earlier this year, everybody was freaking out because they went up to 80 milligram. And we're like, how much higher are they going to go? And it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And it's like greed from these companies. And they're just pushing this to see how far they can go. What are y'all's thoughts on all of this?
I completely agree. I think it's greed. I think because it takes up less space in the store, they can get more money. So that's why they're putting it all up there. And I think it's really wrong, like you said, to blame the consumer who found something that works for them when they thought it was something completely different. So.
Right. And it's marketed as something completely different. And they think it's kratom, like leaf kratom, and it's not. It's completely different. And that's really frustrating. That's what really frustrates me, is a lot of people don't understand the difference. So they think all of it is bad. And because kratom is connected with 7-OH, and they don't understand the difference between the two. And I've had to explain that to a lot of people. And if you go to a gas station, no one's going to explain that to you. And if you buy the 7-OH and you wanted the pure kratom instead, that's on them for not educating the consumer. That's not fair to the people buying it either.
Right. I think they should know what they're selling in their stores.
Right. Exactly.
But also, a lot of people just don't pay attention. I mean, I'm going to research anything before I consume it. Even when the doctor prescribes me something new, I'm going to go and Google it and research and go on a bunch of sites and learn everything I can before I consume it. Like, most people are not like that. It's so interesting how so many people say, yeah, I didn't even read the package. I just saw this, I bought it, and I took it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but you're an adult. That's on you.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so many sides to this and so many ways of looking at it. There's a lot
Right.
of stuff all around.
And sometimes the way it's packaged too, in the like shiny package, and it says kratom, and they're not really paying attention. They see the big words kratom. They're like, oh, whatever, it's that. But they don't see the 7-OH or pay attention or even know what that means, and you really do have to pay attention too when you're the consumer as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. What's your thought, Becca?
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I agree with everybody, and I am just continuing to be like super angry about the irresponsible marketing and the names, and it just feels so targeted and sleazy. Like that's not okay at all. But I agree with everybody else that it's not fair to those who found it and don't overutilize it or whatever. It's also not fair that consumers and like gas stations and vape stores weren't educated about the product and didn't take the time to educate those that they were selling to. Like it's so multifaceted, and there's so many things to be addressed.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
also like I feel bad for the consumers that are taking it for pain and didn't know what it was, and it works for them and they don't want to lose it. I feel bad for the people that are in recovery and went in there to get that and didn't know what it was, and it just kind of screws everything up. So all around it was bad.
I'm just glad that the natural leaf works so well on me, so I have no need for 7-OH. But also when they talk about OxyContin and look how long it took, the government was responsible for that too. Like they never take their responsibility. The FDA guy was bribed and signed off. Yeah, it's not addicting. But like I said in the comments when we were watching that earlier, OxyContin, out of all the different opiates I took for my pain relief, OxyContin was hands down the best one for me. It worked better than all the others. And I hate how demonized it was. And I hate how so many people got addicted, but it parallels so much 7-OH, where people were told this is one thing when it's not, right? Because 7-OH, it's just kratom. Well, people were told OxyContin's not addictive. I wasn't addicted. I didn't have any addiction issues with my OxyContin. As a matter of fact, I easily got off of it with my natural kratom. When I switched in 2019, the only side effect I had from getting off of OxyContin with kratom was that I got some hot flashes because I kept a journal, and 24 hours after because I was doing, kind of going back and forth between my meds and kratom until I found that green worked best for me and powder was better than capsules. Once I had it all figured out, I'm like, okay, gonna stop the OxyContin. I mean, I tapered down, but I'm like, and I knew that was not, and I was so worried, like, because some people told me you still might have some withdrawals, and some people said I had no withdrawals when I did that. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. Right at 24 hours, hot flashes. And I could see by my journal, my dose journal, I had just stopped the OxyContin, cold turkey, and kratom powder only. I was still doing a little bit of Percocet. I think I was already weaned off of gabapentin at that point in the muscle relaxers. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to have some hot flashes. I'll take it. But I still don't like hearing how demonized they make OxyContin when it helped a lot of us. And I understood what I was taking. The doctor sat me down. We talked about at length about going down that path with opiates for your chronic pain. But when you suffer from debilitating pain, you kind of reach this point like, am I going to do this point of no return where I'm going to always have to take something, but I want to have some kind of relief and have a normal life? Or do I just stay bedridden and worry about all these. I mean, look, think of all the side effects with opiates, the liver damage you can get. There was another opiate I used to take that was so good. It helped me a lot. I'm blanking on the name, but it had a lot of acetaminophen, like a high amount of acetaminophen. And to the point where I'd have to wean off of it and take breaks of it for a while because the doctor was concerned about my liver, and we would do, liver checks. We'd do the labs. Then all of a sudden it got taken off the market. And I was devastated because this was a really good opiate for me. It's just I had this whole system of taking breaks from it and using one of the other narcotics from time to time. But I found a system that worked for me. But it's just like Kratom. It affects everybody differently. You just don't know how it's going to affect others. And I know a lot of people got addicted to opiates. And I hate that so many people had problems with that. But it still goes back to the government. What did the FDA do? They said, these are safe.
Yep.
Why did it take the government so long to do something about it?
Right. Exactly.
It's just interesting looking at all this. I'm just glad that I found natural kratom. It works so great for me. If it stopped working for me, of course I'm going to go try 7-OH. Why wouldn't I? I don't want to go back to pain management and deal in the pharmacies and deal with that BS.
Yep, exactly. But natural kratom works for me as well. And it has been for over 10 years now. So yeah, with no issues.
Yep, same here, almost 9 years now, and no issues at all. Just being able to do things, all positive.
Exactly.
We just need to stay safe and legal.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 13 years and running and doing
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. I love it. This is such a great hangout today. And Sarah, I'm so glad you were able to join us.
Yeah, I was happy I could. Yeah, you too.
Yeah. So we'll be back next Saturday to do this. I know it'll be holiday time. Are y'all good with
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't go anywhere. So I'll be here.
Yeah, we could probably have you next week, Sarah, because Amanda Ortiz, who hasn't been here in a while, she was supposed to be here today and next week, but she's not able to now. And I need to check with Stephanie Sue because I'm not sure if she'll be able to do next week. Probably not with the holidays, but with it being so few days after Christmas, y'all are still good for next Saturday because I'm good.
Yeah, that would work. I could do it. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sorry it was so last minute, Sarah.
It's okay.
It happened.
I was only at the gym, so it's like 45 minutes. So I just drove back. I made it, so it's okay. I'm sorry if you heard my dog too. My dog sometimes. I'm sorry if you hear her.
We all have pets. We're animal friendly here.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, my dog gets vocal from time to time. She doesn't bark, but she whines because she's a husky. And she's usually good during the day. But I was trying to do something last night as a live stream, and my dog was just whining. Because if you're doing something out of the ordinary, you get a dog like that, and they're like, I'm going to sit at the door and whine until you stop.
A routine. Mine do too. They have to go for a walk every day. If they don't.
Oh yeah, mine knows what time all of her walks are, and her breakfast, and her dinner, and it's like if I'm even a few minutes late, the whining starts.
Yeah, that's what they're doing right now because it's like walking time right now.
Yeah, we're done for today. We're good. Thank y'all so much for coming and being on our main YouTube channel now. I hope there wasn't too much confusion. I wasn't expecting it to be gone on Monday, but it was, and. You know, it's when we're kratom advocates, this is what we have to deal with, unfortunately. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And you still have access and you're building it back up. And sometimes that's not a bad thing either. You know, sometimes good things come out of things that you think 100%. Are not so great. So yeah.
100%.
Stop.
Yep.
Will not stop.
The best thing to do is join our school community at Kratom Real Talk. It's also just same link as school.com/Kratom Real Talk. Come join us there because we're always there. We have lots of great conversations. There's no censorship. We also have the newsletter. I actually sent out a newsletter this morning just to let people know, like, hey, this is where we're going to be at today in case people didn't know that we lost our YouTube channel. So just help spread the word. I mean, that's the best thing everybody can do right now is help let others in our community know this is our YouTube home now at Kratom Real Talk, and come also join us on Substack, because I'm going to start doing a lot more there, and I don't see any censorship issues over there. Substack.com. So everything is going to be Kratom Real Talk. So Substack.com/Kratom Real Talk. The YouTube is Kratom Real Talk. The website is still KratomStoriesPodcast.com. So that's the website. And Kratom Real Talk is our school community. So y'all come hang out. We're going to be everywhere still. Can't knock us down.
Nope.
We get right back up.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out. I wonder which song should I close out with? I don't even have it queued up. Anybody have a preference between our two usual? I know I've got the. Let me pull them up. I know I have like the anthem, "You Can't Ban My Roots," or which I've been playing a lot lately, or the "Living the Kratom Life." That's such a good song too.
Yeah, living the Kratom life. We haven't heard that for a while.
Yeah, we haven't heard that for a while. I mean, those have been the two best songs.
Mhm.
Although I did, again, find that one I played earlier very comical about the tapeworm addicted to, got my tapeworm addicted to Kratom. Little different, but it was still just a fun, upbeat kind of tune. It was just some interesting lyrics. And just a reminder, I will have the links to all the stuff we watched over on the YouTube channel description later on this episode. So, all right, let me cue it up, and we'll see y'all next week. And we have our school community chat tomorrow, private in school. It's not public, so if you want to come hang out, we just do like a casual meetup. That's on Thursdays and Sundays at 3:00 Eastern. Come join us over there, and we'll see y'all soon. Y'all take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Woke up today feeling light. Grab my blend, ready for flight. Green mango, it's my start. Red barley to calm my heart. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Castles packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. White flame when I need the drive. It's the power that makes me thrive. Mix it up, I found my way. Living the kratom life every day. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. You already know. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that kratom eases the pain. So I take my blend and I rise. With herbal realm, I touch the skies. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that Kr8tom